Yo, yo, what is going on, my fellow wrestling fans? Happy New Year. Welcome to a brand new week, and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Champions, where we talk about the different personalities, storylines, controversies, and everything in between that center around this world we know and love as professional wrestling. I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor in the Flesh, as always. And my co host needs no introduction, but the hell with it. He's about to give y'all one anyway.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is tag team partner Jonathan Randall, the adventurer himself, at your guys' service. And from both of us from our Clash of the Champions podcast, we want to say you a late Happy New Year. I hope you guys had a safe New Year with your friends and family. And here we are in 2025 safely, starting off with a episode. And last night we started off with an amazing Raw on Netflix debut. Man, what an episode and what a night!
Yes, it was. It was a big deal, probably the biggest Raw in the show's entire 32-year history. And yeah, they really put the heavy promotion behind this show, bro. For weeks, that's all they've been talking about. That's all they've been building towards. And last night was the big night. And to no surprise, the show opened with the head of creative himself, Mr. Triple H, Paul Levesque, whichever you prefer to call him, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, if you're that old school. But yes, he did start the show, and obviously it was no surprise considering that he's been the head behind like the most recent success WWE's been having the last few years. So yeah, he gave a nice little rah-rah speech to start the show, which is dope. But the main part of the show was opened by none other than the final boss himself. Well, maybe not the final boss so much anymore from what we saw of him last night, but yes, it was none other than The Rock.
Yeah, showed up, and look, this is a good way to start off the show because look, you had this whole card was heavy, man, on fire. You needed to show you know just a good standing with the audience. And when I look back at the show, it was also kind of like an introduction for the probably like for a casual and new audience as well, because it's on Netflix. Is a newer audience, you know what I mean? But yeah, you're gonna bring out one of the most popular wrestlers of all time, The Rock, and watching that promo, yeah, it wasn't it didn't seem like no final boss stuff from The Rock. It was a little bit different, surprisingly. Well, for one, of course, he acknowledged Roman Reigns, but he also acknowledged Cody Rhodes, who was sitting at ringside that night.
Yeah, after all the crap that happened between the two of them last year heading into WrestleMania, now all of a
Yeah.
sudden he's all buddy-buddy with them.
Yeah. And the funny thing he did say though was like, "Hey, tell Mama Rose I said hi." I'm like, "Oh my!" I laughed, but I was kind of like, "This is weird." I'm like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, Mama Rhodes don't fuck with you, bro.
Right.
So what you did at WrestleMania last year?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it was more or less corporate rock. That's the best way I could put it. It was
Was he just
basically
doing it
him.
for Netflix? Maybe just kind of like,
Yeah, yeah. This is like more or less like him being like a spokesperson for the company. It was more Dwayne Johnson out there than The
hmm,
Rock being out there. That's the vibe I
true.
got from his whole speech.
Okay, it's a good point.
Yeah, it was nice. It was whatever, but not what we were expecting, considering that he you know, had that segment with Cody the night after WrestleMania where he said he was gonna challenge him when he came back, and then that brief cameo he made at Bad Blood at the end of the show. So like
Yeah,
all that happened just for him to come back on this night
to
and
say
give
all
like
that.
a PR speech.
Yeah, that was just, it was weird. It was just like, that something's not right. But I was like, whatever about it.
I don't know if maybe he like made a New Year's resolution and he wanted to right all the wrongs he committed last year, and that's why he acted the way he did. But regardless, yeah, this is not exactly what I had in mind when The Rock was announced for the show.
Yeah, and another shocking announcement, right? Which is today, right? He announced that he's going to be at NXT New Year's Evil.
Makes sense. It's also going to be in LA, and also his daughter
Yeah.
is the general manager on NXT, so it sounds about right. I saw his
Yeah.
daughter was with him at the Golden Globes on Sunday.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. At the red
Yeah, and
carpet. Yeah.
apparently, like I think Vin Diesel made a joke about him,
Hmm.
and like he really looked uncomfortable when he made that joke.
Oh my God. They still beefing with each other?
What else is
Jeez,
new?
dude. Hey, that
All
crap is
right,
so
but in any
old,
of
man.
yeah, just like Hulk Hogan, but we'll get into him later. So,
Mm,
in our opening match of the show, we had Roman Reigns against Solo Sikoa in Tribal Combat, and the winner would officially be anointed as the tribal chief once and for all, and be the recipient of the Ula Fala.
yes.
And I have
And,
to say, well, maybe not the best match I've ever seen. This tribal combat was way better than the one we got at SummerSlam a year and a
oh,
half
I
ago.
agree. I agree. And, that's a good way to start off tonight. And also, look, you have to bring your heavy guns. Roman Reigns is, one of the most popular stars in this company today. You know what I mean? And it's your debut show on Netflix. So, yeah, you got to bring out the heavy hitters for this night. And, yeah, this show, no, sorry, this match produced. And I would agree that, hey, this match was a little bit better than the very first tribal combat match between Roman Reigns and his cousin Jey Uso.
Yes, it was, but we did have shenanigans in this match, no
Yeah, of
surprise,
course, of course.
including interference from Jacob Fatu and Tamatonga, but they were fought off by Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn. There was even one point where Solo even kicked out of the spear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off, but I mean,
Mm,
is what it is. And there was
mm.
even one point where Kevin Owens interfered and gave Roman Reigns a stunner.
Yeah, that was shocking. And then out of nowhere, I mean, if Kevin Owens is going to make an appearance, well, guess what? That means Cody Rhodes is going to make an appearance, in which he did.
Well, considering he was sitting in the front row when The Rock
Yeah.
gave him a shout out, I'm not surprised that he came through. So yeah, Cody Rhodes came through and fought off Kevin Owens, and ultimately Roman Reigns finished off Solo with another spear to get the pin, be officially christened the final tribal chief once and for all. And he would have the Ula Fala placed upon him, but not by Paul Heyman like we suspected. The
Mm,
Rock would come out
yeah.
once again, but instead of having a confrontation with Roman and maybe taking the Ula Fala for himself and laying out Roman, he put the Ula Fala over Roman's head, and that was that.
I like that. Good, great moment. Good moment, man.
Um, in that sense, yes, I guess so. But I will say, like I said before, the part of me was disappointed that the Rock just showed up and just did all this corporate PR stuff.
I know, but I feel like there's something lurking. I don't want to put my finger on it, but I feel like there's something that we're not seeing that is going to be revealed later on. But other than that, seeing The Rock, who in his family, he is the high chief. In real life in the family, I thought that was right and genuine to have him put the Ula follow on Roman Reigns. So I like that moment. That moment was very genuine and special to me.
The vibe I got from that was like the same vibe I get when Triple H takes the picture with somebody when they win the championship for the first
Oh
time.
no, no, stop. That
That's the vibe
you're
I got.
no, stop. I don't think you're looking deep into that. No. It's like a family thing though that you're not looking at.
But I will say one thing from what we saw of The Rock tonight with Cody and also Roman in this segment, you kind of get the vibe that he's probably not doing WrestleMania this year.
Who, The Rock?
Yeah, because he basically broke character and gave Cody a shout out after all the things that happened between them last year. And then
Yeah.
just anointed Roman the tribal chief with no confrontation, no nothing. And yeah, that was that. So from like what we saw so far, it doesn't look like he's gonna be at WrestleMania. Although this could be a swerve. It's very possible he could all be fooling us. And a few weeks later he's gonna switch. But just judging off of what we saw last night, I think we can X him out of being at WrestleMania.
Not
That's
yet.
my bad
Not
guy.
yet. I don't want to jump into conclusions first because that's the thing that I was talking about was I was alluding to earlier is that what cup are you drinking? That's all McDonald's.
Yeah, the
Ah,
Riddler Cup.
I see. You can't fool me. I saw that. I still have mine
Yeah,
at my parents' house. My brother's supposed to be bringing it over. That's nice. I love that.
it's a
But
30-year anniversary this year.
I know. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to jump into conclusions first, man, because like I said, there's something that I'm not buying yet, and it's way too early to be saying it. I kind of feel like there's a little bit, maybe a swerve on the lookout, but we don't know yet. We just don't know. So I don't want to jump into conclusions yet. I don't want to completely give in, ruling The Rock out for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I hope so. Because like just for him to come out and do all this, I mean, it's nice and all, but it was a huge letdown considering the little hints we were getting since
Mm.
WrestleMania of him possibly coming back just to do this. Yeah, just to leave it like this, and maybe we don't see him again for like another year or so. Yeah,
Well, I
it's
don't know, but you gotta, but like, so because I kind of want to wait and save this after we review the whole night. I mean, I've been getting some complaints from certain fans saying how, like, the night was kind of like because it was just how the way it was generated towards two. But I was like, you can't. I go against that because I remember this is their debut episode on Netflix. You know what I mean? That's why they made the card as special as it is. This is kind of like an introduction to new fans, but also casual fans. You know what I mean? People on Netflix kind of, oh, there's wrestling on here. Let me check this out. You know what I mean?
yeah, I get it. Kind of like reminds me of Survivor Series and Saturday night's main event, where like in many ways, as far as the match outcomes, they played it safe. So I guess we'll have to wait like a few more weeks to maybe see more swerves and more twists and turns going into WrestleMania season. But like I said, as far as the Roman and Solo match, it was predictable. I saw that outcome coming from a mile away. The
Yeah,
main question I would have coming out of this match, though, is where Solo Sokoa goes from here.
that's a big question though, because like that, and then whenever we see feuds, right? And this is going to be another question when we go on later when we talk about Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, especially Liv Morgan. But that is a very good question to ask because once you're in a big time feud, right, and you're doing well, eventually it's going to end. And the next question is, well, what are your plans after? What are you going to do after? Are you going to elevate from this, or this is going to, you know, be leveled down and bring you down? So that is a good
I
question.
think
What is going to happen with Solo Sokoa after?
I think I have an idea what's going to happen to Solo. What's going to happen to Solo is the same thing that happened to Scar at the end of Lion King when the hyenas attacked his ass. That's what
Oh,
Jacob
and they turn on
Fatu.
him.
That's what Jacob Fatu and Tamatanga I think are going to do to him as soon as
Mm.
possibly this Friday on SmackDown.
Oh wow, I can see
Because you
that.
gotta because you gotta think about it. Like when this whole thing first started, when Solo took over, he was the one saying that losses and losing has consequences, referring to Roman losing at WrestleMania. And considering the fact that Solo has lost as many times as he has, including this match specifically, I think his losing is going to have some consequences, and those consequences may come at the hands of his own stablemates.
I see that too, and something just hit my mind just now. I would like to see Solo Sokoa go after some single titles, maybe potentially go after the U.S. title. I would love that.
We'll, we'll see. Only time will tell. But this feud is over. It went on for almost 9 months or so. It was definitely the right time to
It
put
had
it
to
to
end.
bed.
Yeah,
And
it had to
now,
end.
and from what Roman said, he won't be on TV until the January 27th Raw, which is going to take place from my old neck of the woods of Atlanta, Georgia. And I think from that night, it's going to be his tribal chief anointment ceremony. I think on that night, we're going to get our idea or answer to who his potential opponent at WrestleMania will be.
Hmm. But then again, first you gotta obviously he's gonna enter in the Royal Rumble. So
Yeah, it's possible. But speaking of the Royal Rumble, that brings us to our next segment. We had John Cena starting out his 2025 retirement tour by appearing on Raw. And he had a new shirt where it said "The last time is now," which looked dope. It was like dark, like navy blue. So he
yeah.
came out. He came out. He gave his speech about how this is the last ride, this is the last time, and how he hasn't won a singles match in a very long time, which is actually very true. He hasn't won a
Hmm.
singles match in years, and he kind of like made it seem like you shouldn't count on him winning the 17th world title. He was like saying it would take a miracle. It would take something like him winning the Money in the Bank, the Elimination Chamber, politicking to the right people. I'm just playing. Or 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 entering the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Which
So
he
it's
guaranteed,
official.
which he said he will win. We'll see about that, man. I can't wait for that. And I've said this before, Kurt. This Royal Rumble coming up in February in Indianapolis, this is going to go down as one of the biggest Royal Rumbles ever. We thought last year was big though, but this one coming up, man,
Yeah, it's gonna
this
be.
one's going to be big.
Yeah, John Cena, the first major name to enter the Royal Rumble. And I know it's too early to give predictions, but I have a very, very funny feeling that Cena is going to win.
Mm.
And that will set up a dream match for WrestleMania.
Oh my God.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. If The Rock's not going to be there this year, I think this match is going to happen instead.
Hmm. I think I kind of know who now. Wow.
Yeah, that John Cena versus Solo Sikoa match is going to be a big deal.
It's gonna drop numbers. No offense to Soul Sequoia, but no. I want to see that dude. I want to see that guy level up moving forward. See, that dude has so much potential. That was good for him. So,
Yeah, I
but
do
yeah,
too, but unfortunately, like with this feud being over, like you just don't know what's gonna happen next. But hopefully, he stays in that mix because he did show throughout this role that he has a lot to offer and he could be a
oh
player.
yeah, of
But
course,
we just all know how that story was eventually gonna end, and it was no
yeah.
surprise seeing it end that way.
He handled it well though, because we didn't even know what was going to happen to him. You know, after Roman left last year after Mania, you know what I mean. But he handled it well, so he really he passed the test. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, and like I said, worst case scenario, if this doesn't work out, he could go on tour with The Weeknd, make a whole bunch of money, get a whole bunch of girls if he's into that whole thing.
He's married.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot about that. He is married, but he could still go on tour with The Weeknd, make a lot of money, not have to physically beat up his body, and yeah, they can make some panty wedding music together.
Oh
Everybody
God.
wins. All right, but yes, the John Cena retirement tour is in full effect, and yes, he will be in the Royal Rumble, and I think he's going to be the second person in the history of the Royal Rumble to win it 3 times.
Wow. And that other man who will Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin in the flesh, yes.
Yep.
So moving on, we had for the very last time the end of this long ass feud for the Women's World Championship. We had Liv Morgan defending her Women's World title against the woman who never lost the title in the first place, Rhea Bloody Ripley.
Yes. And to think going into this match, it was an okay match, but I thought this match was supposed to be a last women standing match.
I thought the same thing too, but apparently they dropped the stipulation and didn't say anything.
Oh,
So
that
yeah, it was just a regular
sucks.
match.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, it would have been nice if it had that stipulation, but regardless,
Yeah.
the match was still fine. There was one point where Liv Morgan was gonna hit Rhea with the Eradicator, but Rhea blocked it, and then she just blew Liv Morgan a kiss, and then slammed her down and hit her with 2 consecutive riptides to get the win and regain the women's world title that she never lost.
Yep. And what I loved about and the funniest thing that happened after, as soon as Rhea Ripley celebrated inside the ring, here comes her old ex, Dominic Mysterio. Looked like he's about to attack her, but he's like, "No, hold on, we're good. I want to give you a hug. Let's make a truce. Let's make peace." And it looked like they two were gonna reconcile with each other, but before Rhea Ripley even gives him a hug, Rhea Ripley gives him a kick, a low blow.
And then proceeds to give that chicken tender slut Dominic a riptide, laying his ass out and putting an end to her issues with him. Also, Liv Morgan, the rest of the Dollar Tree Judgment Day that's left. And now she is the women's world champion once again. But as she was leaving the ring, somebody came out to celebrate with her. And that certain someone turned out to be none other than The Undertaker.
That's right, American Badass style. Undertaker arriving in his motorcycle, rides around the ring, and then gives a high five to Rhea Ripley as they're leaving, congratulating her on her victory. again, I think showing Undertaker, it's your debut episode on Netflix on Raw. This is, that's a good showing. And I liked it.
Yeah, and they both put their fist up in the air, like with their back turned,
Yeah.
as they both left. And yeah, it was a nice visual. Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm happy that Rhea Ripley regained the title. This is the natural conclusion of this whole feud. And just like Solo Sikoa, I do have the question of where Liv Morgan now goes
Same
after
here. That's the
this.
same question I had. And yeah, there are some fans that weren't happy about the decision of Liv Morgan, losing. Kurt, we both called it. We both said that Liv Morgan was going to drop the title that night. Um, Before I say anything else, my hat's off to Liv Morgan and on her title reign. She did a good job with the title. Good job with her feud with Rhea Ripley. She really stepped up in a big way. She owned 2024, and I'm happy for her. And then I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with her moving forward.
Yeah, she had a banner year. She definitely held her part of it. She definitely elevated herself to that next level, to the point where I said it was going to be sad to see her lose the title. And while I
Yeah,
like Rhea Ripley's great. We knew she was going to get the belt back. A part of me still is bummed that Liv Morgan lost. But
true.
I feel like she's talented enough where she'll be fine with
Mm,
whatever she ends up doing next. But congratulations to Rhea Ripley for regaining the title that she did never lose. And we will see who she ends up facing for the title at WrestleMania. And I think I have an idea of who that might be, considering what we saw a few weeks ago.
mm.
Somebody who has been on the losing end to Liv Morgan most recently at house shows. Even one show I went to a few weeks ago, I think that person might be Rhea Ripley's WrestleMania opponent.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see what happens on these follow up weeks. So,
And apparently, from what I understand, Becky Lynch was supposed to be out for that match afterwards, after it ended, instead of
mm.
Undertaker. But for whatever reason, they cut her out of it and put Undertaker in instead.
It's funny. They've been using Undertaker a lot lately. He's kind of like the plan B of a situation. Like, oh, okay, well, you can't show up. Undertaker, can you show up, please? This is kind of like the second time this has happened. We saw this last year at WrestleMania. So,
Yeah. But one cool thing I did like seeing at this show were all the celebrities that were there, such as
yes.
O'Shea
Yeah.
Jackson Jr., Vanessa
Mm-hmm.
Hudgens was there. Also, Macaulay Culkin. Yo, I popped
Yes.
hard when I saw Macaulay Culkin there. Yo, that shit
Yeah.
was out of left field. I never expected to see him at a wrestling show at this stage, but yo, I'm glad to see it.
Long time,
WrestleMania
though. We
7
haven't seen him
vibes.
at a wrestling show since WrestleMania 7,
That's the
which
only
was
other one I
also
could
in LA.
remember. Yeah, that's the only other one I could remember seeing him at. It's so
Yeah.
crazy. I don't understand, considering that Home Alone had just come out. I don't understand why they didn't use him for like an angle at that WrestleMania. That would have been huge.
Yeah. Or it would have been perfect for him to do an interview. That would have been perfect, though. They should have ran the ball with that. You know what I mean? That would have been dope. Um, Damn, what was I about to
It,
say? I loved, man, even though I'm a Laker fan, though, but man, the Clippers into a dome, that's a very nice arena, man.
yeah, and also besides
Outside and
Macaulay,
inside.
I hear that. Also, it was also cool being a big fan of this show to see Boy Meets World's Danielle Fishel there
Yes.
along with Will Friedle.
Yes, they were there too. Yes.
Yo, I was so dope to see them at
Yeah.
Raw last night. I remember going to their podcast show over the summer in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. Yeah, but what I did have a problem with is that the fact that they didn't acknowledge Will Friedle, the dude who played Eric, the older brother. They only
Mm.
acknowledged Danielle Fishel. They didn't even put a name graphic for Will Friedle at all. They just like act
And
like
that
he
is
was like
just
some random fan.
oh no, see, and a lot of
Not
people and
cool.
here's the
Not
thing
cool,
though,
WWE.
he did more than just Boys Meets World. May I remind you, and I just found this out like about probably like a couple years ago. He's the voice of Batman and Batman Beyond. If you guys ever remember that cartoon.
I didn't know that, but I did know that he was the voice on that show, Kim Possible. I never watched it, but I knew of
Mm.
it, and he like did
Okay.
one of the voices there.
Yeah, he's the voice of Batman and Batman Beyond, which is a dope show.
Yeah, but regardless, yeah, it was cool to see them both there. All the celebrities that were there in general. I think Macaulay Culkin was having a watch along with Home Alone a few weeks ago out here. I should have gone, but
Oh, for real?
for whatever reason, I didn't make it. And now that he was on Raw, I'm even more bummed that I didn't make it.
Wow.
It's what it is, but it was cool to see him at a wrestling show. He got a much better reaction than a certain someone we'll get into in a few minutes.
Ooh.
But
Ooh.
And our next match, we had Jey Uso against Drew McIntyre. And Jey Uso came out to the ring with a brief performance by Travis Scott,
Mm-hmm. He was
who was
smoking a
smoking a
blunt.
blunt.
Everybody's talking about that. Oh man, that was funny.
Not even Snoop Dogg is openly, not even Snoop Dogg is openly smoked on WWE television before. But
Right, and
Travis
so many.
Scott,
Right, and of all the times that Snoop Dogg's been on WWE television, we never seen him do that. But no, Travis Scott, he pulled out a blunt. That's funny.
yeah, for I know they're in Cali and everything. It's legal out there, so I guess in that sense, it didn't surprise me. But damn, Travis Scott can now say he has the privilege of being the very first person to smoke weed on WWE TV.
Yeah,
More power to him.
right.
Yeah, Jey Uso had his dope ass entrance as always. Yeah, entrance I'll never get tired of. Hell, even Michael Cole and Pat McAfee were both standing on the table when he came out doing the put your hands up, put your hands up. Yeah, Michael Cole doing that will never not make me laugh. But this match kind of surprised me.
Hmm.
I really expected Drew McIntyre to win, considering this like Terry's been on going through all the people in Roman's camp.
Hmm.
And surprisingly in this match, he got upsetted by like a crucifix when he was like down on the mat. Jey Uso turned it into a crucifix pin and he pulled it off. He beat Drew McIntyre.
I'm okay with it. This goes to show you that type of finish right there. Of course, this feud is not over, but
Hell no,
I
it's not
am
over.
no, it's not because of the finish. And then also you got to remember, I'm really am not too surprised of the decision. I was kind of expecting Drew McIntyre to win as well, but you got to remember your debut episode on Netflix. I think that's why they made a decision to have Jey Uso as the winner. Again, this whole episode or show, I'm sorry, debut show was for not just us, the diehard wrestling fans, but kind of like for the casual fans, but mostly for the new fans as well. So they kind of
Yeah,
want to, you look at most of the results from this card, they were good endings and good results. So they kind of want to, like, okay, guys, you know what I mean?
yeah, I got it, but it still was kind of a shock upset.
Oh, yeah,
But
of
it is what
course, of
it
course.
is.
Yeah.
Jey Uso defeated Drew McIntyre, but we know this is definitely far from over. They will definitely be having a rematch in the coming weeks, and Drew McIntyre is going to kick his head off.
Ooh,
Not going to be pretty, son.
no.
All right, but yeah, that's how that turned out. And then, in one of the most standout parts of the night, and not really for all the right reasons, we had an appearance from that old fuck Hulk Hogan, along with Jimmy Hart. And Jimmy Hart was there waving the American flag. And once Hulk Hogan's music stopped playing, you could hear nothing but boos from that LA crowd.
When I look at that, I was just like, okay, I don't understand why they had to bring Hogan. Like that's time they could use for something else. They could have maybe did another match, or they could have. Apparently, I was hearing rumors of a debut from a new upcoming wrestler that I signed with WWE, but they didn't do that. But I
Apparently,
think
from what
I think the
apparently
reason why
from what
they
I was hearing, Stone Cold Steve Austin they wanted for that spot, but for whatever
oh
reason he didn't make it, and that's why they put Hogan out there instead. And also, Hogan and WWE have a new deal
yeah
involving
they're
Hogan's beer, the
yeah
Real
that
American beer, whatever that
yeah
bullshit is. So he
that's
was
yeah
basically
just
out
getting ready
there.
to talk about that. That's the reason.
Yeah, so he was basically out there to plug his little nasty ass Real American beer, but the crowd was having none of it. He was talking like he's doing his usual shtick. Well, let me tell you something, brother. And the WWE Universe, they're the greatest tag team partners I've ever had. Even more than Macho Man, oh yeah. Even more than Andre the Giant. The WWE is then, now, forever, just like American beer. And what you gonna do? Same old shit.
Crowd not having it. Oh
Good, he
man.
deserves it.
Ooh, and
And
they even said like, are you surprised that the fans booed Hogan? Did he deserve it? I was like, I'm
you're
not
damn right he
surprised.
did.
I'm
You're
not
damn right he
surprised.
did.
That's the one thing I gotta say. I'm not surprised. I don't know. It's because of people were saying it was because of the politics, but you can't
Bro,
say that because they cheered for Taker. So it damn sure ain't because of the politics from a couple months ago.
They cheered for Taker. They cheered for Triple H, who were both known Trump supporters. So with Hogan, it has nothing to do with his political
No,
affiliations, the fact that he's a
no.
Trump supporter. It's the
Mm-mm.
fact that people have caught on to his bullshit and they're tired of it. Like his old shtick from the 80s and the 90s, we're not going to fall for it anymore. We've seen through too much of his bullshit. We've seen too much of his lies, his grimy behavior, his shady behavior. And because of that, that's how he gets treated in return.
You know what? I know this is kind of weird to say, but funny. But I think this is the hatchings of a heel turn.
Hulk Hogan has been a heel disguised as a baby face since 1984.
Okay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about kayfabing, bro. Kayfabing. I think it's
He
time
might
for
as
him to pull
well.
out that black and white attire now. So,
That honestly, he doesn't even need to do
oh
that. He could just
man,
wear. He doesn't even need to do that. He could just like wear a "Make America Great Again" shirt. If they would let him go out and do that, I'm telling you, man, he would get massive heat.
I guess it wasn't because
Or,
of the politics. Just rip out the NWO shirt and just do it all over again, man.
or he could just be himself. That'll help people boo him too. Yeah, bro, there's people like trying to defend him, saying, "Oh, if it weren't for Hogan, we wouldn't be wrestling fans. If it weren't for Hogan, we would be still watching wrestling in bingo halls. If it weren't for Hogan, wrestling would never be mainstream." And hey, I will always give Hogan his flowers for that, for the memorable matches, angles he's been a part of, and for having the longevity that he did. But with that aside, you can't overlook his grimy ass bullshit. And because of that grimy ass bullshit, he deserves to get booed and shitted on whenever he decides to make an appearance. And this
Mm,
night proved as one example.
mm. You think maybe the humble thing for him to do will be apologize for the stuff that he's done?
Not even apologize, but give a sincere, genuine apology,
No, that's
not
what
a
I'm saying.
PR.
No,
Because
no, no.
like I don't know if
That's what
you
I'm saying.
because I don't know if you heard a few years ago, like after the whole racist rant happened, he
Yeah.
made an appearance backstage and he apologized to everybody, but it was more of an apology of the fact that he got caught as opposed to
Mm,
actually apologizing for what he said. Because I remember Titus O'Neil and Kofi Kingston called him out for that, saying that they would have accepted his apology if it had been like a genuine one, but it felt like more of a bullshit one. So that's why they kind of kept their distance from him. So if he actually gave like a legit apology saying, look, I know over the years I've done some really bad things. I've done some things that are unforgivable. I did some things that are selfish. I came up during a different time in the business and that's how I was taught to operate, even though it's wrong by today's standards. I'm sorry for doing that. I'm sorry for sabotaging the Wrestlers Union. I'm sorry for the bad things I've done throughout my career, whether it was to other wrestlers, whether it was to other people, regardless of who it was. If he just said it like that and also said, I'm sorry for that racist rant I went on, that was wrong of me. I can't believe I did that. I should have known better. I should have been better, but I was not at the time. And please forgive me. If he said an apology like that, I would maybe think about forgiving him. But until he does, I say this as somebody who used to be a fan of Hogan but is not anymore. Motherfuck Hulk Hogan.
that's what I'm saying, man. Like, just if he says an apology, genuine, just humbles himself and just like, hey, I think that'll be like the first step. But uh, that was the
How
talk
long
of
do
the
you
night.
how long do you give it until his American real beer lasts? How long do you give it until it
I'm afraid to try it,
goes
dude.
away?
I'm afraid because I love beer. You know what I mean. So I'm afraid it's gonna taste like Bud Light. And I don't like Bud Light. So
A lot of
the
his
only I like Stone Cold's beer, and Stone Cold's beer is an IPA beer, and I don't really like IPA, but I still like it. You know what I mean? Because it's Stone Cold. But I
the
don't
thing
know,
with
man.
Hogan, the thing with Hogan is that most of his like outside wrestling projects usually don't do well. From his
What's another one?
movies,
Well, I mean,
he's
other
had
than
movies.
movies, though. But yeah, I know he had to have something else, though, right?
He had like a pasta restaurant in that Mall of America in Minneapolis.
You
He had like
did?
a
I didn't know that. I
yeah,
didn't
he
know
had like
that.
he had like a pasta restaurant with like a spaghetti hogaroony was like the main dish or something. Yeah, that didn't
Hmm.
last long. Yeah, a whole bunch of shit.
Didn't know that. That's crazy. You know what's the one thing that was weird though? I just it was so weird seeing the wrestling mat black. It was weird.
Yeah, and they had the same thing with SmackDown, the blue mat.
That's what I was asking. I was like, dude, why is the map blue? I was like, what the hell's going on? And then it's kind of like we saw this with WCW because they put in like certain, I remember they had like a bunch of sponsors on their wrestling mats, at one point, you know what I mean? So that's just I get it, sponsorships and more money and all that stuff, but it's just like, man, it's so weird. Even I remember, talking to you about this during WrestleMania last year. You remember how like every match there was a sponsor, and then you
Yeah.
look at the not the ring, but also on the ring apron, but also on the guardrail, right? They had that big sponsor flash, and you're trying to watch the match, but you're getting distracted by freaking Wingstop or whatever. I'm just like, dude, come on. I get it. You're sponsoring them. I get it, but like, you don't have to. Sorry, have to flash it at us like that. You know what I mean? It's a bit distracting to me.
Yeah, I hear that, but considering that they've been putting Hogan in the graphics for Saturday night's main event for the next one coming up, he was like in the
Oh,
promo commercial for that.
oh man.
It's gonna be interesting if him and Jesse Ventura are both there at the same time.
Hogan, if you're hearing this, I think if that apology, um, I think that would be the right time to do it. Oh, weird.
And a real apology, not a bullshit
Yeah, I
apology.
know. Yeah, a real one.
All
Oh
right, but
man.
on to the main events of this first Raw on Netflix, the match we were all waiting for, the big encounter. All the talking was done, all the promos were done, all the back and forths were done. It was now time to settle it in the ring. And that final encounter we're talking about was between CM Punk and Mr. Wacky Outfits himself, Seth freaking Rollins.
And on a side note, going into this match, this is a very interesting fact that I found out earlier before the show even started, is that this was CM Punk's first match on Raw in over 4,000 days.
This was his first singles match on Raw since the beginning of 2014. Yes, I believe he wrestled
Yeah,
Billy Gunn.
crazy. Wow.
And I have to say, this was the best match on the whole show.
Oh, I agree. The match and what they did, and also the finish. I love how they went outside of the ring. They're on the announce table for a little bit though, but yeah, these two went at it.
Yeah, this is definitely a war. Even Rollins hit Punk with a go to sleep at one point.
Yeah, and CM Punk even did a curb stomp to Seth Rollins.
Yeah, it was crazy. They were pulling everything out in
Yeah.
this match.
Oh yeah. Huh.
But ultimately, it ended when Rollins tried to do a Falcon Arrow to Punk, but as Rollins was
Count.
about to finish it, Punk
Count.
countered it into the go to sleep.
Loved it twice.
And that was all she, yep, 2 times in a row. And that was all she wrote. CM Punk won the match fair and square. And that was how the show ended.
Great finish, man. Oh my god, that finish was so great. About to do the Falcon's Arrow, then counter it to GTS. Oh, great finish.
Yeah, it was a good match. I was kind of surprised Rollins didn't turn afterwards. I definitely
Mm.
expected that to happen at the end.
Maybe
But
after, maybe after though, but still, yeah.
yeah, it's still gonna happen at some point. I just thought it was gonna happen last night, but it is what it is. I guess they wanted to send the crowd home happy, so I'm
Hmm.
not mad at that move. And at the end of the day, the match was good. The match delivered. But despite the clean finish that we got, I think we all know that this feud is not over.
Really? Okay.
Bro, you
Did
think it's
you?
over even after that?
No, no. And then I was looking, and they didn't show it on air, but if you were on social media, CM Punk got interviewed outside of the ring right after his match, and he talking about how 2025 is going to be his year. He's going for all the gold.
Yep. Which basically solidifies the fact that he will be in the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's getting real right now. So now CM Punk and John Cena are both in the Royal Rumble.
And as expected, but don't be surprised, Roman Reigns is going to enter in that Royal Rumble as well.
Yes, that definitely more than likely will happen. And CM Punk actually was at the press conference after Raw, and somebody actually brought him a whole box of donuts.
That's funny. What kind though? Randy's? I bet it was
Yeah,
Randy's.
that
That's
Randy's place. Yeah, that Randy's
I
spot.
knew it. I knew it. I didn't watch it though, but I come on now. I had to be Randy's, man. Come on, that's like that's the spot in Inglewood, man.
At
Come on,
least,
hell
at least
yeah.
this at least this press conference with him eating some baked goods went a lot more smoothly than the one a year and a half ago. I'm sorry. At least this press conference with him eating some sweets at the banner went a lot more smoothly than the one with the Bucks and Kenny Omega all those years ago.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, at least this is more peaceful this time around.
Stop. Oh, one thing. Oh my God. One thing that I did not know that just hit me later that night after the show was over. I did not realize. Big props to Roman Reigns, man. Roman Reigns usually, he's wearing Jordans in the ring, but last night, since they're in LA, right? He decides to wear Kobe's, the Kobe nines, and big props to him. Mad respect for him, showing Mamba mentality. Even though they're in the Clippers arena, though, but hey, we all know that the Lakers run LA. Come on now, so big props to Roman
Bro.
Reigns and what? Yes, they do. Until I
No, no,
see
no,
it,
no. I wasn't talking about that. I was thinking since they were in LA last night, there was a missed opportunity for a theme song they could have had for Raw last night.
what?
Machiavelli's "To Live and Die in LA."
Oh,
To
but
live and die in LA, it's the place to be. Yo, that would have been a great theme song.
but yeah, mad props to Roman Reigns rocking the Kobe's that night in the ring. Mad respect, showing Mama mentality. I love that.
Yeah, I like to see it too. And overall, I'll say this first Raw on Netflix was good. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
it was the best Raw ever. There were certain swerves and certain surprises I thought we were gonna see that we didn't get. But overall, it was a fine show. I can't call it a bad show.
No, it was definitely not a bad show. I love the show. I think it's one of the you could put. I mean, oh my gosh, so many episodes of Raw. You could put that on the list. It's your debut episode on Netflix, and it was a big night. The arena looked nice. Celebrities were there. People made good appearances, good matches, good finish, all that stuff, all that jazz. They brought it, and I loved it. It was a great
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, it definitely felt like a big deal with all those factors playing into it. It had definitely a PLE vibe. But with this in the rear view, we now have the Royal Rumble to look forward to.
Yes.
We already have one match set, which will be the ladder match to decide who's the undisputed WWE champion between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And this past Friday on SmackDown, I kind of got a little bit of a different person added into the mix as Cody Rhodes is interrupted by Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre was kind of staring him down, but then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Drew McIntyre hugged him.
Mm.
Yeah,
Weird.
really weird.
Mm.
But Cody and Drew McIntyre was trying to relate to Cody because they used to be like a tag team and they used to, travel together and they go back and all. But Cody was not having it.
Hell no. I'm buying that.
But then as Drew McIntyre was leaving, he told Cody to watch his back, and then Kevin Owens attacked him, and they got into this big brawl and they had to be separated. So now it's starting to feel like Drew McIntyre is going to form an alliance with Kevin Owens, and possibly whenever he turns heel, maybe Seth Rollins too.
Hmm. Do you think Drew McIntyre is also going to enter in the Royal Rumble?
Oh, of course, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
He needs to avenge what happened last year.
Right.
So we have that. So we have Cody and Kevin Owens, which would be dope. I'm looking forward to that. And I think for the world heavyweight title, we're gonna probably get Gunther against the douchebag fuck Logan Paul.
Oh hell no! Why? Of all people, why?
Didn't they have a
No,
confrontation?
no, no.
Didn't they have a confrontation at that press conference for the Raw Netflix at the
They
headquarters a few
did.
weeks ago?
Oh
Yeah,
no. Oh,
I mean, would you rather see
why?
Gunther go against Goldberg?
No, but well, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, after what they did at Bad Blood, that was something that was supposed to, play off, but they never did. So kind of finish it, but you're not. I'm sorry, but no, come on. Logan Paul.
Hey, it'll be a fun match, and yo, I'd
You're
be happy
saying
with
it's a
it.
fun match just so you can see him get chopped and beat up. That's the only reason why you're saying that.
Well, that too, but also, regardless of not liking the dude, Logan Paul puts on good performances.
I know that though, but still, it's weird having two heels go against each other.
Yeah, by the time that match is over, Logan Paul's chest is going to look like the red Hell in a Cell.
Give me what I've been manifesting for the past couple of months. Give me Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson at WrestleMania.
It's
That's what I
possible.
want to
It could
see.
happen.
That's what I want to see. Oh my god. Oh,
Yo, but
imagine Vegas WrestleMania Mike Tyson coming back to WrestleMania. Oh man, that would be so amazing.
we'll
Wow.
see. We'll see what
Ooh.
happens. Anything's possible. But what we did have on SmackDown, which was the talking point from the whole show that everyone was discussing after it was over, was the women's championship match between Nia Jax and Naomi. And these women put on another great match last Friday on SmackDown, just like the one they had a few months ago. This match, I think, might have been even better. And as the match was going on, Tiffany Stratton's music hit. And then she was acting like she was going to cash in the money in the bank. But then as she was cashing it in or looking like she was going to cash it in, she shoved the referee over the railing and then hit Naomi with the briefcase. And that allowed Nia Jax to hit Naomi with the bonsai and retain the title. And then after the match, they attacked Bianca Belair, who was sitting at ringside in Naomi's corner. And it looked like Nia Jax was about to hit Bianca with the bonsai, but as she was going up to the second rope, Tiffany Stratton hit her with the damn briefcase.
Yep. We both
And
predicted this.
yes, and then she attacked Candice LeRae with the briefcase too. And Bianca Belair actually pulled off an impressive feat as she nailed Nia Jax with the KOD as she was standing on the second rope. Oh my god. Yo, that was crazy. She hit freaking Nia Jax with the KOD.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
then and then Tiffany Stratton just like pulled Bianca out of the ring and like just launched her ass over the announce table. And then she officially cashed in the money in the bank. The bell rang. Tiffany Stratton hit Nia Jax with the moonsault, got the 1, 2, 3, and Tiffany Stratton successfully cashes in the money in the bank contract and wins her very first women's championship on the main roster.
And this was, yeah, and that was a good way to end 2024.
You mean start 2025?
Well, I mean, yeah, it started 2025 though, but the episode was on December 30th, correct?
No, the episode was on Friday. They're live on Friday.
That was on New Year's Day?
That was on Friday on January 3rd.
Oh, I don't know what I was thinking it was. Oh.
Yeah, SmackDown's live on Fridays. Yeah, it's not taped.
Oh no, okay. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, what a way to start 2025.
Huge way to start 2025.
And we both predicted it. We both called it that she was gonna eventually gonna cash in, especially on that night in particular.
Yeah, it was a great cash in, one of the best women's cash ins we've seen in a long time. And it had to happen on Friday because they've been teasing it for so long. And it was the first SmackDown of the new year, and also the first SmackDown being at 3 hours. So they had to do something big. And this was it.
Mm.
But it's funny, I was on Wade Keller's show after SmackDown on Friday and we were talking about it. The one criticism he had was the fact that they had Tiffany Stratton cost Naomi the match initially. So it was kind of like you were happy for Tiffany Stratton, but not really because she interfered in the match beforehand.
Well, I'm gonna go against that. I wish I would have talked to him about that because here's my take on it. You got to remember Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax are buddies. You know what I mean? And it looks
But
like
but Nia Jax has been talking down to her lately. Like
I know,
you
I
know,
know, I know, I know, but still, regardless, though, they're still like partners in a way. You know what I mean? But here's
yeah.
the thing I was about to get into. It looks like from the viewer point, you're like, oh, Tiffany still being a buddy to Nia Jax is gonna help her to win the match. That's it. And then turning on Nia Jax was the big swerve. So it's kind of like you get what I'm saying? I kind of
Yeah.
like I see what Wade Keller was saying about that though, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of looking at it like, well, okay, well, Tiffany was out there to help her as always, typical as always, whatever, you know what I mean? But then boom, oh wow, oh my gosh, she's gonna cash in on Nia Jax now. So kind of like two swerves, which was okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing I said. I said that I
Yeah.
understood where he was coming from, but also at the same time, it was done that way so Nia Jax would think that she was still on her
Yeah.
side,
That was the
only
whole
for her to
point.
turn on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I want to give a shout out as well to Nia Jax for the great work
Yes.
she's done over the last year. From
Yes.
that match she had with Rhea Ripley in Australia,
Hmm.
that main evented Elimination Chamber, winning Queen of the Ring, winning the title at SummerSlam, the great matches she's had throughout the year with
Yep.
Becky Lynch, with Naomi, with Bianca Belair, Bailey. Yeah, she put on a great showing for herself over the last 12 months, and I just want to give her flowers because she deserves it. She
Same here.
definitely had a career turnaround this year, and I'm happy
Same
that I got
here.
to witness
I'll
it.
give her everything. Flowers, all that stuff. My hat's off to her, just like with Liv Morgan. She did a great job last year. I've always been a fan of Nia Jax. You know, this going back to her winning the title at WrestleMania 34. I've always been a big fan of her, and I'm so happy for her. And yeah, she really carried. I think she had a banner year of 2024 as well. She did a lot, and my hats off to her. And I hope that moving forward, that she's still gonna be leveled and elevated moving forward.
I definitely see a match between her and Tiffany Stratton within the next month or
Oh,
so.
of
Maybe at
course.
the Royal
Oh,
Rumble.
of course.
Yeah, because
Of
she's gonna be
course.
hot. Yeah, because
Of
she's gonna be hot
course.
considering she lost the belt that way.
Damn.
And also from how this all went down, and considering that Naomi's lost so much since she came back, I'm
Mm.
having a feeling more than ever that she was the one who attacked Jade Cargill.
Ooh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, I think after all this happened, like now that she lost again, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just the losing streak she's been on, I think she
Mm.
was the person behind it, and we're gonna
Really?
find that out soon.
I don't know. Haven't really been paying attention though. But have you seen like I don't know like levels of frustrations from her recently?
Not yet. She was on Raw last night. She was sitting there with Bianca. I didn't notice anything there,
Oh.
but on Friday I did see a picture of like Bianca like hugging Naomi like as they were like lying down on the floor outside the ring
Hmm.
after the match was over. But I definitely see it being Naomi now more than ever,
Hmm.
especially considering that she eased her way into being, Bianca's tag team partner now that Jade's out. I definitely think she's gonna play a role in it somehow.
Hmm.
I don't know
Interesting.
how it's gonna play out, but yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be revealed as Naomi as the person who committed the attack, similar to what her father-in-law did 25 years ago.
You know what? You know how they're going to reveal this? They're probably going to do the same thing with Shawn Michaels and Triple H back in 2002, where they're going to have
Maybe.
video footage of who did it, and they're going to have that footage of like who revealed of who took her out backstage in that parking lot, and so
Yeah, I could go down that way, but
yeah.
as a as a first 3 hour SmackDown that we saw last Friday, I thought it was a solid show. I think overall it delivered. There
Mm.
were there were maybe some parts that were better than others, but overall I think the show went along smoothly. But apparently, according to Triple H, the 3 hour SmackDowns are only going to be temporary. They're only going to be a thing up until probably about June, and then it's going to go back to 2 hours.
Okay. Okay, because I
Yeah,
was okay.
that's fine. That's fine as long as the SmackDown stay consistent, like the one Friday
That's what I'm
was like.
saying. Yeah, I mean that's good. On your first episode, you do 3 hours. Well, no, sorry, that's good for your first 3 hour episode that you did good. But moving forward, can you stay consistent? So that was my concern.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. I know we're gonna have a U.S. title match this Friday on SmackDown with Nakamura defending against LA Knight.
Mm.
We'll have the fallout from what happened last week with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. We'll see what goes down with that. Also, the fallout from what happened with Solo on Raw Monday. It's a strong possibility he's going to get kicked out of the bloodline. And yeah, SmackDown's going to, yeah, from what we saw last Friday on SmackDown, they definitely gave us something to look forward to watching this week.
I agree. Long as they stay consistent.
Yeah, definitely. And I know Happy Gilmore 2 supposed to be coming out in July. Has a very star-studded cast from what I'm seeing, from
Oh
Bad
yeah,
Bunny.
yeah. He
MJF's
just
gonna be
dropped
in
his
it.
new album, ladies and gentlemen. Good album.
And also I'm looking forward to this. Becky Lynch is gonna be in it too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
It was funny though. I heard of everybody else, MJF. When I heard MJF was in, I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be funny." You know what I mean? But yeah, a lot of studded casts, and yeah, just now hearing Becky Lynch, it's good. I can't wait to watch it though.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing her back soon. I'm looking forward to seeing what role she plays in that movie. The few times I've seen her act, I've actually liked the way that she was used in it. Like one example being that show Billions. She was in an episode of that. Yeah, she killed it in that performance. Even though she played herself, the way they used her in that performance, yo, she did her thing.
Yeah.
And also, she
Oh,
played Cyndi Lauper on Young Rock. Yo, I thought she
right.
killed it in that brief
She
part she was
did.
in it for.
She did. Oh, damn it. I miss that show.
Me too.
I wish they would just one more season, dude. They left off of a good cliffhanger, man. Damn.
A lot of shows did, just like Moesha.
NBC screwing up, man. The ones, man, they're so easy to bring back all these Chicago Fires and Chicago Med and all that. No offense to those shows, though, but you couldn't renew Young Rock, man. Drop the ball, man. NBC dropped it.
Maybe the Vince thing had something to do with it.
Oh,
All
oh, I
right,
forgot
bro.
to mention this though, but we just found out about a couple days ago that next year's Royal Rumble in 2026 will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Yes, that news came out on Friday, but it was officially announced yesterday. Yes, Royal Rumble next year will be taking place in
Weird.
Saudi Arabia. That's gonna be, yeah, very weird, very different. Yeah, and it's gonna be weird to see what the women's Royal Rumble is gonna be like,
Oh yeah,
considering
they
that.
are. I already saw the memes already. My God. I mean, don't get me wrong. The women have been very creative with their outfits throughout the years. They've done a very good job, though. But yeah, it's gonna be seeing. It's gonna be weird seeing that, though. I don't know, man. Like, look, the Saudi Arabia shows don't you know, are not as hyped up. It's just for that crowd, you know what I mean? Which I understand, though. But it's Royal Rumble, though. You know what I mean? So I thought it was just weird, kind of a weird location to have it there. You know?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, money talks. I'm sure they got a nice check for putting that deal together. So this is what we're gonna get out of it. And look, the Saudi shows have gotten better over the years. I remember those first few years of them; they were horrible and unwatchable. But they've
Mm.
consistently gotten better in recent years. And it's weird that they're having one of their big main shows
Yeah,
over
that's what I'm
there. But
saying. Yeah, and then also it's the Royal Rumble, and then it's gonna start early, so that's gonna be a weird one, you know.
yeah, but we'll see how it plays out. It's still looking at for another year or so. So cross that bridge when we get to it.
Hmm.
And looks like Mercedes Monet just won some more belts this weekend at the big Wrestle Kingdom show. And now she's Mercedes 4 belts.
Russell Kingdom in Japan, yes.
Yeah, that big show they do every year at the beginning of January. Yeah, now Mercedes Monet is now turning into the female version of Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimate Dragon, I missed that guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was great.
very underrated guy. He was one of my favorite cruiserweights in WCW.
Yeah, he was a beast. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like every bit as good as Rey Mysterio was, but just
Oh hell yeah.
I just think Rey Mysterio was just more marketable, and I think Rey Mysterio probably spoke better English too. That might have also helped him.
I don't recall. Maybe my memory's not good, but I don't really recall Ultimate Dragon doing a lot of promos in WCW.
No,
Mainly
he didn't.
WWE. He didn't none in WWE. I remember that. I remember his run in WWE. He was only there for about a year. He definitely didn't do no promos there though. But
Yeah, it just doesn't work out for some people in certain ways. In a way, Ultimo Dragon kind of reminds me now of Andrade, where they're both very talented, they kill it in their matches, but just beyond
Logan's a
that, they
tire.
don't. Yeah, but just like beyond, like what you see of them in the ring, there's not really much about them that's as appealing that
Mm.
makes them stand out.
I mean, it's the ring work though. You know what I mean? So
Nah, but like Rey Mysterio being one example. He has the mask, he has the colorful outfits, and also his size. His size makes him stand out too. And Eddie Guerrero had the low riders. He had the cool facial expressions, the light cheat and steel stuff, all that jazz. So
Hmm.
that's what I mean. They don't really have that factor of their characters like they did.
No, yeah.
That is what it is. But my brother, is there anything else you want to get into today?
That's about it though. Just we had a great Raw on Netflix episode, and I just can't wait for next Monday though. You know what I mean? So they keep this consistent, and this brings in new viewers. That was the whole point. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for them. It is a bit weird. I'm just waiting for them to get more of the Raw episodes on there because I haven't seen. They don't have like all the years on there yet, but they said it's going to take time. So
Yeah, I know they were all on Peacock up until like this most recent move, so I guess time will tell. I mean, I'm not gonna really go out of my way to watch a lot of those old Raws. I've seen them a bunch of
I
times
was in the
already.
middle of watching one. That's why. That's why I was kind of like, damn it, what's going on, man? I don't see my year up here, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I guess I'll see what else they add to the Netflix calendar in the coming months. I know they have that WWE Vault YouTube channel. They've been adding a bunch of stuff to recently, which has been dope.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, most of their stuff is still on Peacock anyway. They still have a contract with Peacock for a few more years, so I'll probably still mainly watch it there. I'm actually going to start watching the Jerry Springer docuseries that just dropped on Netflix today. I'm actually
I,
going to
s-
watch that when we're
I
done.
saw that. I saw that. Saw that.
Yeah, but next week on Raw, we do have two major matches. We have the finals of the Women's Intercontinental Title Tournament between between Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyra. And also, once and for all, we're going to get the final blow off between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Thank God.
Finally. It, isn't a special stipulation match, I heard.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a no holds barred match.
Okay.
Yeah, if the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan feud needed to end, and also the
This
Roman
one
and
needs
Solo
to end.
Sikoa feud needed to end,
Yes.
this one too. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, I can't wait because that one I had high hopes for it, but didn't really exceed my expectations though. But yeah, it has to end next week, and I can't wait. So,
Yeah, and
woo.
I think also Seth Rollins is probably going to go off about his loss. He's probably going to have a big ass meltdown. CM
Like
Punk
Bret
was
Hart
even saying,
in
possibly,
'97.
because CM Punk was even saying that he hopes like Rollins gets horrible sleep. He hopes that like he um is miserable and depressed after this and has like
Whoa,
a
whoa, whoa,
meltdown.
whoa!
And
Wait a minute now. Hold up. Wait. Now, just hold the phone. Seth Rollins is already sleeping depressed and miserable already. He's been sleeping miserable and depressed. You know why?
because of his Bears.
Yes. I'm, I'm sorry. Damn.
I
Every
know you're
week.
happy.
Every week, except for last week, they got to win over the Packers, though. But damn it, every week on Twitter, I hate football. Week after that, I hate football. I'm like, my God, did you cannot catch a break? And look, I have nothing against the Bears. I respect the Bears, but I want them to succeed too. But damn it, oh, when is it gonna end for him, man? Come
I
on,
guess
I
we'll
want the
see.
Bears to succeed, dude. Boy.
I know you're happy your Chargers won over the weekend against the Raiders. I saw you were at the game.
Oh, I was just there for tailgating. I didn't go to the game. It's a long
Okay,
story,
never mind.
but still though, I'm happy that we ended the season with a W, and we got bigger fish to fry because we got playoffs next week. So
Yeah, definitely. The playoffs will start this weekend. And yes, it is a
mm,
brand new year. And we're on the
mm,
road to the Royal Rumble, which means WrestleMania is upon us. So, yes,
yes,
we will be here breaking down that wrestling news, controversies, everything in between from the on screen stuff to the off screen stuff. Yes, make your destination Clash of Champions because we got that good
here.
ish for you. Yeah.
That's right. And also check out our social media platforms on social media, Twitter, follow watch our episodes available on YouTube, Spotify, and the speaker app as well.
Yeah, check us out, holler at us, let us know what you think. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, we'd more than be happy to have you on for that. But until next time, for John Randall, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of the Clash of Champions. Take care, Happy New Year, and remember, in 2025 and beyond, don't be an asshole in real life or social media because that toxic bullshit is for the birds.
And
And
ladies and
Hulk Hogan
gentlemen,
too.
And ladies and gentlemen, going into this year, as always, as I said before, stay safe, stay blessed, and always be cool.
Peace.